Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Make It Personal. I am Pastor Terrell, and it's Monday morning. I'm sorry for the hiatus last week, but there was just some scheduling errors on my part. Today, I want to read from the book of John, chapter 4, and I'm going to start in verse 5. It's a story we're familiar with, but I want to go into it. Jesus arrived at the Samaritan village of Sychar, near the village that Jacob had given to his son Joseph. Wearied by his long journey, he sat on the edge of Jacob's well and sent his disciples into the village to buy food, for it was already afternoon. Soon a Samaritan woman came to draw water. Jesus said to her, "Give me a drink." She replied, "Why would a Jewish man ask a Samaritan woman for a drink of water? For Jews have no dealings with Samaritans." Jesus replied, "If you only knew who I am and the gift God wants to give you, you'd ask me for a drink, and I would give you living water." The woman replied, "But sir, you don't even have a bucket, and the well is very deep. So where do you find this living water? Do you really think that you are greater than our ancestor Jacob, who dug this well and drank from it himself?" The question I want to ask today is, who was Jesus to this woman? Up to this point, he was a stranger. He was someone she happened upon, but she knew he was from an unfriendly ethnicity because the Jews and Samaritans were at odds with each other. Her truth, her identity, was apparently a source of great strength to her that she drew on for her identity. She says, "My ancestor was Jacob," and this was very important to her, but it was a false identity. And what I mean by that is the Samaritans were not true descendants of Jacob. Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. The Samaritans were not true descendants of Jacob. See, after Jacob, there was 8 generations until King David. King David had a son named Solomon. Solomon had a son named Rehoboam. And Rehoboam led Judah and Benjamin, 2 of the tribes of Israel. But there was a revolt by a man named Jeroboam, who was a kind of a general under King Solomon. He wasn't Solomon's son, but he was a higher up official. And he revolted against King Solomon and led the other 10 tribes of Israel north, and they left Judah and Benjamin there under King Rehoboam. Are you with me? So the Assyrians conquered those 10 Jewish tribes, and they assimilated them into their culture, into what became known as Samaria, hence the Samaritans. So Jesus is standing here talking to this woman, and he is a true blue descendant of Jacob, and she is saying, "I'm a descendant of Jacob," and he's saying, "No, you're not." So who was this woman to Jesus? He was a stranger, and she thought she knew who she was, but everything she knew about herself was a lie. Take care, come back tomorrow, and we will continue this.